Hello again. So I wanted to show you some of the modifications that I made to my telescope, my first, my StarBlast from Orion. These aren't big modifications, but I did find that they were helpful. First of all, I bought a little tiny level. I think I get it for like $1 or $2 at Walmart. It's not necessary to level your scope. I've heard arguments for it and against it, but my understanding is as long as everything is aligned from the mount upwards, you're okay. But anyways, I bought that. The tray that comes with this, I'm going to take this off so you can see what I'm talking about here. When you get the telescope out of the box, it has this accessory tray that you can add on. And the reason that you probably want to add the accessory tray is because it gives the whole thing some stability. Especially, I'm kind of dug into the ground here, so this isn't going to collapse a whole lot. But if you're in some place where a leg could get kicked, this whole thing can collapse inward. I'm going to take this off level just for a second so you can kind of see what happens. Okay, that's going to fold in, so that's actually a good thing. It allows you to close up the legs. The problem is, while it doesn't let the legs go any further apart, it also doesn't allow them to, there's nothing to prevent it from retracting if it gets bumped or something like that. So their solution to add an accessory tray kind of serves a dual purpose in that it gives you a place to store things, but it also adds some stability. The problem is, this is what they give you for screws for it, okay? So this is a small screw. It screws into the bottom of the accessory tray, and it screws in there through this hole. So you might say, well, why don't you just leave the accessory tray on there all the time? Why do you have to bother taking it off and putting it back on? I guess it depends on your setup. If you're like me, I don't have a good sky right in my yard. I need to go about a mile down the road to a field, and so I need to close up this tripod and carry it down there and then set it up again, throwing it in the back of my vehicle. And I'd rather not transport it when the legs are splayed. I was like, well, I would like to be able to close this up. So the problem, however, with the way that these are set up is because you're putting them in from underneath, they're very hard to align. So let me show you what I mean with that. You're kind of doing it blindly. And I'm sorry, I'm just doing something on the side here to get this set up. So if I'm putting this underneath, this piece underneath here, I'm kind of like trying to find where it's supposed to go, and then I'm trying to screw it in. And honestly, number one, I don't have great eyes, but number two, if I'm doing this in the dark, it's a little bit of a problem. And there isn't a whole lot of play, even though it kind of looks like it's moving a little bit. There isn't a whole lot of play when you get around to the third one. So doing this with 3 of these, it actually can be a real pain in the neck to do. So I came up with what I think is a slightly better solution for this, which is I bought some longer pieces like this, and on 2 of them so far, and I will probably do this with the third, but this is a brand new setup. I find that if I put these on, and I typically will leave this screwed on the whole time. Okay, so I just snug these down a little bit. I've got 2 of them on here, and I can put them through these holes like that. Now I can take one of these wing nuts, and I can just feel exactly where that's going, and I can just give that a quick spin, and that's on. This one, that's on. Okay, so when I get the third one, when I purchase that one will go right in here, and I should be able to, leaving these longer bolts already in here, just push this right onto where those holes are. And if I try to do this now, I may not even be lined up very well. I'm going to get actually really lucky and get this right in. But this doesn't even really want to spin in that quick because it's tight. But so the modification I made was putting those longer bolts on there, and I think that really speeds up the process of taking on and removing the tray if that's something that you want to do. Okay, so happy stargazing, clear nights, and all that good stuff.